In this video, we will discuss material volumes. If you'd like to follow along with this video, please open the file materialvolumes.dwg located in the training folder as discussed in the Working with this Dataset video. When a quantity takeoff criteria is applied to a sample line group, a material list is added to the sample line group properties. You can then use the material list to create a material volume table or report, or even a mass haul diagram. In this video, we will examine the process for creating material volume and creating a table and a report. First, let's navigate to the Settings tab and look at our quantity takeoff criteria. We'll navigate to the quantity takeoff category, and we'll expand the quantity takeoff criteria collection. You'll notice that we do have a material list criteria already defined. Let's go ahead and double click on it to make sure that it contains all the corridor shapes we want to create material list for. In the material list tab, you'll notice that we actually only have the pavement in here as a structures category. So remember, the components of a corridor model are the point, link, and shape codes. The way that the material will be calculated is Civil 3D will use the shape in each of the different corridor sections to calculate the volume for that material. So let's go ahead and add our pavements based upon the corridor that is in our drawing. Let's make sure we're in the pavement area, and let's go ahead and change our data type to corridor shape. And if we look at the dropdown, this is going to read the actual corridor model. Let's go ahead and pick Pave 1 and click the plus sign. Go back to the dropdown, click Pave 2, and add that in there as well. Now we don't need this pavement material one, so select it and then click the X button and it'll remove it. Let's go ahead and add a new material, and we'll call this one Base. And press Enter. What quantity type is this? This is going to be a structures type. We'll make sure we go ahead and select our base corridor shape, plus that in there, and keep going here to finish off adding the rest of these. We'll add a subbase, change our quantity type to structures, and we'll add that in there as well. We now have these 4 different shapes that we want to get material volumes for. And if we go ahead and look at the drop down here, there are some additional ones. However, we're going to use different methods to quantify the curb and the sidewalk, so we're not going to need a material volume for those. Let's click OK, and now that quantity takeoff criteria is ready to be used. To compute our materials, let's go ahead and select one of our sample lines. In the Launchpad panel, let's click on Compute Materials. Make sure you have the alignment, and notice how, because of the exclamation point, this one is selected at the top of the list. We'll go ahead and click OK. And if we look, so far we have the earthwork material list in there. We now want to add in that new criteria. Click on Import Another Criteria. And here's where we get to select from that list. We'll click Material List and click OK. Notice how we have these corridor shapes already in there. We'll go ahead and just pick the drop down. And of course, it's interrogating the corridor model to allow us to choose the actual shape. We'll click Pave 1, Pave 2, Base, and Subbase. And go ahead and click OK. We now have those corridor shapes in there. There's still a bit of a problem. When we generate our report or table, you want to be able to choose from a list with the name that makes sense. So let's go ahead and just click once there, and we'll call this first one Earthworks. And then we'll call this second one Materials. As we navigate our data type to corridor shape, notice that we have some additional materials that we may want to calculate that are coming from the corridor model. Let's say we want to get a material volume for the riprap that's going to be on the fill slopes. So what you can do first is click on Add New Material. Let's go ahead and call this one riprap. Then change your quantity type to structures. Then set your data type to corridor shape. Pick the riprap corridor shape and click the plus sign. And now we have added that in there. This is a nice way to do this without having to actually edit the quantity takeoff criteria of material list, because you're not necessarily going to have riprap for every single project. Notice the options for the shape style if you wanted to display a different colored shape in a section view, as well as choosing from the standard volume calculation methods. Click OK. Those materials are now computed inside this sample line group. Let's go ahead and create a report. With the sample line still selected, click on Generate Volume Report. Make sure we have the sample line group selected. Notice how we now can choose from the material list we just renamed. Click on Materials. And if we look at the style sheet being used right now, it's using the Earthwork style sheet. We want to click the Browse button here and make sure you select the Select Material.xsl style sheet. Click Open, click OK, and Civil 3D will open your default browser. At the script prompt, say Yes. And here is our material list of all the different materials. If you wanted to export this out to Excel, you could right-click, export to Microsoft Excel, or do a Control-A, Control-C, and a Control-V in a different application. Let's say we wanted to put a dynamic table in our drawing instead of actually as a report. So first, let's look at the table styles under the quantity takeoff criteria, and we'll go ahead and expand material, double click it. In the data properties tab, you have the different settings for the table, as well as the text settings here for the different cell styles. And to edit any of the functionalities in here, you can add a column, remove a column, or to edit any of the values, simply double click it, and then add the property based upon the property list here. And of course, if you navigate to the display tab tells Civil 3D which components to display and what layer those components should go on. Click OK to dismiss the dialog. Now, let's go ahead and go to our Tables dropdown and click Material Volume. Navigate to the Materials list, and then you can choose from the different ones here. Let's go ahead and pick the riprap, and we'll toggle off Split Table and just click OK here, and we'll place this table in the drawing. To change your actual table properties, press Escape to clear your selection set. Go ahead and select the table, and you can navigate to the table properties, and let's say you do want to split it, and the rows you want to split it at are, let's say, 30. Click OK. And now you can see that that edit has been made. Let's zoom in here and notice that the table name doesn't really make any sense. So we want to change this from material table to the actual name of the material that it's reporting on. Go ahead and select your table, navigate to the table properties dropdown and choose Edit Table Style. We want to edit the title, go ahead and double click it. So select this text and just delete it because we don't need that anymore. We actually want to put in here the material name. Let's change our case to uppercase and add it in there by clicking the arrow. Then you can simply put in here, volume table. Click OK, and notice how it updates automatically. Now, any tables that we add in here for other different materials will automatically have their name displayed in the title. Press Escape to clear your selection set. I want to see the materials in a section view, and I want to see a table for that specific station. You can do this for multiple section views, but for now, let's just do it for one. Let's go ahead and select a sample line, and then navigate to the Create Section View dropdown and click Create Section View. Click Next through the different default options here, and when you get to the Section Display option, let's take a second to look at this. First off, let's go ahead and toggle off Earthwork, as we don't want that one in this section view. We do want to keep the rest of these here, and notice how you can pick a style for them to display a certain way. Let's go ahead and click on the base material here, and we'll go ahead and change this to the actual shape style that's going to be used. Click on the Subbase one, and we'll go ahead and choose Subbase. Click OK. And then for the riprap, we'll go ahead and click on the Style dropdown. And for the one here, let's go ahead and pick on Concrete Hatch. Click OK, and then click Next again. We'll leave the data band set to EGFG, Next again, and let's say we actually do want a material volume table in here. Change your type to Material. Leave it set to Basic and click Add. At this dialog box, for now, just click OK. Because what you can do now is simply click on the Material List dropdown and make sure you pick the Materials list here. Just so you can see what's happening, if you click on the Materials Ellipsis button here, you can choose which materials you want turned on or off. Let's leave them all on. Click OK. For the anchor, we want this to be, let's say, bottom center. And then for the table anchor, this should be top center. That way it puts it right in the middle. For the Y offset, let's type in -2 and then click Create Section View and place it in the drawing. And there's our section view. Press Escape to clear your selection set. If you did accidentally turn on the labels, go ahead and just select them and press Delete. Now, as we zoom in, we notice that the actual corridor section is also using the wrong style. It's shading every single shape. We don't want that. We want the code set style that hollows them out. In other words, turns the shape styles off. Go ahead and select the corridor section, navigate to the Properties palette, and simply change this to the View-Edit style. And now we have our code set style hollowed out, and you can see we actually can now plot, if you want to do some sort of color plot, to show the different materials within your cross-section view. And of course, you have the material table down at the bottom here showing you what the material volume is at this station value.